Let's get one thing clear. What you're about to hear isn't hearsay, it's not theory, and it's definitely not a wild Twitter thread. This is real. And it's about to flip everything you thought you understood about immigration, global politics, and Africa's future relationship with the US upside down. The United States is preparing for a drastic change in immigration policy, one so unexpected, so bold, and let's face it, so politically radioactive that when it drops in 2025, it's going to spark division on a whole new level. We're talking visa-free travel, not for 1, 2, but 10 African countries, that's right. For years, African citizens, students, entrepreneurs, government officials, have faced one of the harshest, costliest, and most degrading visa processes just to set foot in the US. Background checks, fingerprints, interrogations, and unexplained rejections. That system? It's about to be turned on its head. Beginning in 2025, under a new US global travel framework quietly tucked into a broader immigration policy package, citizens from 10 African nations could travel to the US without needing a visa. No more embassy queues, no endless applications, just a valid passport and a plane ticket. Sound too wild to be real? Buckle up. Once you find out which countries made the list, why they were chosen, and the deeper motivation behind this plan, you'll understand why this could be the most hotly contested immigration shift in American history. These are the 10 African nations that may soon be able to enter the US visa-free in 2025, and why it might unleash political shockwaves across both continents. Ghana is the poster child for African progress, stable democracy, peace, and Pan-African pride. So it's no shock it's on the 2025 visa-free list. But this inclusion has sparked debate. Ghana is being cast as the ideal African state, which some call a patronizing narrative. Critics argue this reinforces a good versus bad African dynamic to serve US interests. With increasing African American tourism and cultural return movements, this move also seems aimed at the diaspora. But what happens if thousands of Ghanaians overstay, work illegally, or claim asylum? The gap between symbolic outreach and actual migration challenges is narrowing quickly. Here's a shocker: Rwanda is in. The country once defined by genocide and conflict now has a seat at the visa-free table. Why? Rwanda has reinvented itself as a favorite of Western investors and technocrats. Clean streets, efficient systems, firm leadership. It's the Singapore of Africa with a polished image. Human rights groups, however, are furious, calling Rwanda authoritarian and repressive. Americans are asking why a country with questionable freedoms is being let in without restriction. The answer: optics. Rwanda looks stable, modern, and safe for investment, and that's all it takes. Senegal just got a major promotion. A longtime ally to France and the US, Senegal is now seen as a key player in West Africa. Visa-free access elevates its role as a diplomatic gateway and soft power foil to unstable regimes nearby. But the cracks show: youth unemployment, occasional unrest, and strong migration pipelines make it risky. Critics say this isn't about friendship, it's about resources, fishing rights, minerals, and military access. As always, there's a deeper game at play. Morocco. Strategic positioning, that's Morocco's edge. The United States sees it as a key bridge between Europe, the Arab world, and Africa. With growing US-Israel-Morocco ties, this visa-free move rewards political loyalty. But it's a tense inclusion. Conflicts with Algeria, the Western Sahara issue, and internal protests could be inflamed by this decision. Critics worry it drags America into local disputes. The message to other Arab nations is loud and clear: ally with Washington, get the perks. Uganda. Uganda's inclusion is one of the most divisive. Known in US media for its harsh domestic laws, it's now being welcomed. Why? Because Uganda supports US efforts in security, intelligence, and peacekeeping. That's the trade-off. But expect a storm. Progressives will protest rewarding a country with anti-LGBTQ policies. Conservatives will worry about uncontrolled migration. Uganda's spot on this list is bold and deliberate. Botswana. Quiet, dependable Botswana is in. Low corruption, solid governance, and a Western-friendly economy made it an easy choice. Add to that its diamond wealth and clean energy promise, and the United States sees long-term value. Visa-free status here isn't about vacations, it's about locking down resources before China gets there. Mauritius, the final country, Mauritius. Known for wealth, banking and tech, this island is more than just beaches. It's a financial launchpad, a gateway for investors and offshore accounts. Visa-free travel here is less about tourists and more about capital. The US wants Mauritius to become its African Cayman Islands. This isn't a migration issue, it's a money move. So how is this all happening? In 2025, the US State Department and Homeland Security will roll out a new policy, the CSVWI. This framework allows visa waivers for nations with strong ties, secure travelers, and strategic alignment. It's being pitched as modernization, but it's a political tool. It lets Washington reward loyalty, isolate adversaries, and shape global movement. It's not about qualifications, it's about cooperation. Let's close with this. This policy isn't about visas, it's about power. Power to choose Africa instead of ignoring it. Power to open borders for strategy, not sympathy. Power to make mobility a tool, a prize, a weapon. The headlines will say 10 African countries to enter US visa-free, but they won't tell you who's really benefiting or who's losing out. They won't show you the celebration or the outrage. They won't say this could be the start of a new world, or the unraveling of America as we know it. So what now? First, share this video. Second, comment below. Is this visionary or reckless? Third, subscribe. We're here to bring the truths others avoid. And finally, stay alert, stay informed, stay vocal. Because if deals are being made in secret, we'll shine the light. This is your wake-up call.